MSME and startups. And our today's session is focused on the entity DigiLocker and DigiLockers. And I am also extend my gratitude to Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology for accepting our request and nominate their experts for sharing in-depth detail about the entity DigiLocker and DigiLocker. Honorable Finance Minister in her Union Budget 2023 to 24 speech announced that entity DigiLocker will be set up for use by MSMEs, large businesses, and charitable trusts to store and share documents online securely. In the Union Budget 2023-24, the government has introducing entity DigiLocker for large, medium, and small business entities. The evolution of entity DigiLocker can benefit MSMEs and startups in many ways. The platform can provide secure document storage and access, simple and efficient document sharing, seamless integration with other platforms, and improved compliance and governance. These advantages can help businesses save time, cut cost, and improve operational efficiency. We at ISFA always promote the government initiatives and spread the awareness about that schemes or initiatives amongst our member and other industry players. ISFA is the voice of Indian small business and franchise industry. ISFA would continue to work towards the betterment of the industry at all levels. We aim to support the enterprises across the country to emerge as a global enterprises. We helping startups and MSME firms to grow or ensuring a smooth working. ISFA is committed to provide every possible help to every firm and person associated with it. We connect investors to business partners and help small entrepreneurs to unlock their potential growth. Before we begin, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the Franchise India Group, whose support has made this session possible. Their dedication to promoting entrepreneurship deserves recognition. I encourage you to actively engage in this session, ask as many as questions you can, and take the advantage of this platform. Without taking more time, my request to our eminent speakers, please start the session with your brief introduction. Now I would like to hand over to Mr. Prasun. He can continue with our today's theme, entity DigiLocker.
Thank you, Mr. Akshat. It's indeed a great pleasure that you have extended this opportunity to DIC, MeitY, and NEGD to discuss about the new initiatives, which is based on our own very DigiLocker platform. So DigiLocker platform. So right now, my name is Prasun Kumar, and with me we have Mr. Karan Tandon. So we represent DigiLocker project along with the allied projects like Entity Locker and National Single Sign-On on DIC, that is Digital India Corporation. So today we'll take you through what DigiLocker is. Most of you must be knowing about DigiLocker, must be using the DigiLocker application and knowing about the platform. And we'll also take you through the entity locker, which has been recently started, which has been recently initiated for the businesses to come on to the platform. So as DigiLocker is a platform for the single and individual citizen, Entity Locker is a platform which has been maintained and which has come up for the businesses in India. So without much ado, I'll give me a minute. I'll just start my presentation. I hope my screen is visible. May one of you please confirm?
Yes, it's
okay.
visible.
Thank you, Akshaji. So as discussed, as told earlier, that Entity Locker is an extension of DigiLocker platform, wherein the businesses, small businesses, the large businesses, any entity, so to call, which are registered under certain regulators, be it MCA or MSME, they come onto this platform and they can fetch their entity related documents and also can share it to the entities and the regulators. When we say regulators, so these regulators are the ones who govern a certain kind of rules and regulations for the businesses to be conducted in India. Moving forward, these entities may come onto this platform and can fetch their own entities. If in case I may give an example, so GSTN can be fetched for through this platform. The GSTN or organization PAN, so to say TAN certificate can be fetched. When going forward, this is again a platform on DigiLocker family itself by Digital India Corporation. As discussed earlier, the corporate entities, the organizations, MSME, and the non-individual agencies may come onto this platform and fetch their certificate and share these certificates. So if in case you know that many of the businesses may have these facilities, they might be having Google Drives, they might be having OneDrives, but the fetching again becomes authentic when they fetch it from the single source of truth. So if in case I am fetching my GSTN certificate, and if in case it is coming from the GSTN servers only, the GSTN database, then it is called as an authentic certificate. And if we go towards the amendment in the IT Act, which has been done long before, that any certificate coming in the issued section of DigiLocker has to be treated at par with originals. So further verification of these certificates also are not needed, and the consuming authorities or consuming organizations who are consuming these kind of certificates to produce some kind of more certificates, they can be rest assured that these are authentic certificates coming from the authentic source. So what exactly is DigiLocker entity locker ecosystem? So there are three stakeholders here. So one are the issuing authorities. These issuing authorities are the organization who issue some kind of certificate, as discussed earlier. Like GSTN may be issuing authority, or MCA may be an issuing authority who issues the organization PAN certificate, or any authority who is issuing some kind of certificate which is very critical for an organization can be an issuing authority here. Next, there are the requesting authority or the consuming organizations who consumes these kind of certificates to produce some kind of more certificates. So, giving an example, banks may be the consuming organization. So, banks, whenever a corporate loan is being sanctioned, the banks, organizations go to the bank. They produce their certain certificates in order to avail the loan and get the loan certificate. So these kind of consuming organizations are also a part of the ecosystem. And last but not the least, the organizations or the companies who can come onto this platform and fetch these kind of certificates along with the sharing facility being given to them. These are the stakeholders of entity locker system. So as we said that issuers, the issuing organizations are there. The enterprise vault. So many a times what happens is when you go to fetch these kind of certificates or entity related certificates, they're not there. The issuing organizations are not yet onboarded onto the platform, or simply they are not there. So, and these certificates may be a patta certificate or a land registration certificate or any kind of certificate which is critical for the organization, but they are not there with the issuing authorities. That can be scanned and kept in an enterprise vault, which is a facility given to the organization. So this is a limited space giving to every organization who are registered onto this entity locker platform. The enterprise users, that means the organizations, of course. The organization.
Sorry to interrupt you. Slides are not moving.
Okay, just a second. Is it moving now?
No. I think you should reshare again.
Unshare and reshare.
Just a second, please.
Yes, now it's
It
working, I
moving?
guess. Yes.
Okay, okay. So I hope the discussion what we made along this slide, shall I, go again
I
and
think I think we can start from this slide because
okay.
it was not
So
enough time.
as discussed earlier, these issuing organizations, these are these are the organizations who are issuing some kind of certificate onto this entity locker platform. So basically GSTN certificate or as discussed earlier, MCA may be the issuing organizations. Second is the requesting organizations or the consuming organizations. So banks, as I gave the example earlier, that banks may be consuming organization. That means any kind of loan certificate or a business loan may be dispersed once these certificate are consumed by this organization. So as discussed earlier, that these banks may take these certificates as authentic certificates because they are coming from the single source of truth. So they need not to worry about the authenticity of these certificates or may go for a rechecking because they're already coming from the source of truth. And of course, the third stakeholder or the ecosystem is the entities or the organizations coming onto this platform to avail these kind of services. So these are all the stakeholders. So as I said, as discussed, issuers, these are the issuing organizations. The enterprise vault, wherein you can scan and keep your authentic or critical documents in a limited space, which has been provided to all the entities or the organizations coming and registering on the entity locker system. Enterprise user, that means the companies or the organizations who are already registered onto this platform. The regulators. So if you remember, we had a conversation or we discussed about the regulating authorities in the towards the initiation of my slides. So these are the regulator organizations who govern some kind of section of organizations. So there are, as RBI is one of the regulators, or SEBI is one of the regulators. So there are many regulators who are coming onto this platform and registering themselves so that they can, govern or they can guide the organizations coming onto this platform. So and so forth. So requesting other entities as the consuming organizations, as discussed earlier, that the banks may be a consuming organizations. So these are the stakeholders of the entity locker system. Moving further, these are the benefits. So of course, the entity who is coming onto this platform can instantly access the documents, as we have given examples of tax returns, insurance documents, ESIC certificates, bank statements, PF statements. So these kind of documents can be accessed by any of the organizations coming onto this platform. So many a times what happens is if I am the head of the organization and I have registered through my credentials into this entity locker platform, many a times I would not be able to, available to access this platform. So there is a feature of user management also being given into this platform, wherein I can authorize my authorized professionals or personnels to access this platform, and we can restrict the user to accessing various sections of this platform. Enterprise vault, of course, you can scan it and keep these important and critical documents in the vault and e-sign it before sharing it to the authorized users. Simplified sharing, you can share these organizations. So we will go into details when we go into the slides, and we will go into the screenshots of what exactly this entity locker does into this platform. So you can share whatever the documents are there on your entity locker platform or issued section. You can share it with your regulators, or you can share it with the other authorities who are already present onto this platform. Enhanced security and data protection. So in this, I may say that whenever you share this kind of any certificate, so that is digitally signed, and the same amount of security and data protection is been implemented, what we have implemented in DigiLocker. So that has a proven track record, which we follow. So these are the key features which wherein we have already spoken about all the key features. So if in case I may share a practical example that if in case some organization or a startup comes onto this platform and fetches some kind of, they want to apply for some kind of licenses, or they want to apply some kind of certificates. So they can come onto this platform, fetch necessary documents by giving some kind of relevant parameters, and then share it very easily to the regulators or to the organizations, whichever they want to share. The space or the drive space or the enterprise vault, what we are saying about there, the document is been encrypted in an encrypted format, so that these are the security, of course, parameters which we keep onto this platform. Entities definitely can share their important documents with the regulators. So these are all the key features which already we have spoken about. So these are these are some of the categories of documents which an entity can fetch it from the issuing authorities. So may it a company identity certificate, SIN or PAN or MOA or ISO certifications, may it legal compliance documents or human resource documents or the finance and taxation documents. So many of the certificates are already available. The issuing authorities are already available onto this platform. Many of, some of them we are already in conversation with their issuing authorities to come and onboard onto this platform, so that the companies who can register here onto Entity Locker platform can fetch these kind of certificates. So this is all about what exactly Entity Locker is. So it's a new initiative. It has been initiated last year itself. So it's a new initiative. So basically the process or the thought behind this was DigiLocker being a successful product or successful project. So many of the organizations also aware when behind us that, why these kind of certificates are not available for the entities. And as in the introduction, Akshay also mentioned that in the budget itself last year, it was announced by Honorable Finance Minister that entity DigiLocker will be initiated. So that was the initiation of this whole platform. We are constantly evolving. We are constantly, getting to for the betterment of this platform. So definitely we are open to suggestions, and whatever be the suggestions may, that can be implemented if found feasible. So now probably I can request Karan to give a demo about what exactly this platform looks like and what are the features of this platform. Karan, if you can please.
Sure. I think I'll share my screen and it'll be easier for me to control the slides. Sure.
I'll just unshare that.
Sure. Is my screen available?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sure. So if coming to thank you for the introduction. So coming to the screen, this is the basic home page, which is already live, called entity.digilocker.gov.in, wherein the entities can go and register themselves. This will be the home page where they give a brief description of what the entity locker is all about. If you want to read about it and see what all the different features are there, you can scroll down, or you can simply go through the sign in sign up process, which we have highlighted in the slide. I'll go to the next one. Once a user clicks on signing up to become an entity locker, there is a three-step process. Once the authorized user has to authenticate himself by his Aadhaar number. That means that user should be having an Aadhaar, and he should have a registered mobile number, where he can get that OTP and he can authenticate himself as an authorized person from that entity, and he can also alternatively use a DigiLocker account route to authenticate himself, because he's already done his Aadhaar KYC on DigiLocker. Once that user is authenticated on the platform, then we allow him to enter his company's or entity's details, which require the entity PAN, date of incorporation, entity name, and all of these details are later then further authenticated with the regulators, and once we get the authenticated information, the account is created. Once the account is created, we have an authorized personnel, we have the authorized entity with us, and this becomes their dashboard, wherein they can see certain details which they have already verified, and we keep giving them prompts to update their profile, add their ICA numbers, get their for example for MSMEs, get their Udyam Aadhaar pulled and other things, and then whenever we find out what kind of entity it is, we suggest certain issued documents which are already pulled for you, and the documents which you can fetch later on. So the screen which you're seeing right now is called the dashboard, and on the left hand side of which you can see that it has the documents which are already issued or shared with you. You can go to the document section. There's an enterprise vault where you can store your documents, your legal and documents which you want to share with regulators or other entities. I'll go through the sharing process later on, and then there is an activity section where you can see what all activities have happened for a log maintenance. Moving further, so if you go into the documents and you go into the issue document section, so this is similar to DigiLocker, wherein all of these regulator issuers are already available on the platform. You can go to them, you can enter your parameters and get it. Once these parameters are authenticated by that source, they share that document, ID document, license, state license, anything, Udyam Aadhaar, all of these documents are then shared across to your entity locker account, and this will be available in your issued document section, which is shown in the left hand side. So once you have pulled your document and you successfully authenticated that you are the rightful owner of the document, then these documents are directly fetched from the source, and these are legally valid documents as per the IT Act. This will readily be available in your enterprise account, and if you want to share it with the regulators, you can directly share it also. Further, once you go to, this is just an example. For example, if you want to take your Udyam certificate, it asks for your Udyam number and mobile number. You can just, other details are already which are verified of your entity when you were registering are pre-filled. This ensures that your document is not taken away from somebody else. Only the authorized entities can secure their issued documents. And then whatever parameters are required, you are required to fill it. And once it's similar to DigiLocker, once you click on the fetch, we make a API request to that regulator. They verify the credentials, and once everything is fine, they share the license, the document, certificate, whatever it is, directly to that account. So these documents will be available in your issue document section. Next comes the enterprise vault. This is a storage space given to you wherein you can store your audit reports and any other, audit reports and financial reports, or probably your billings or anything you want to share it with different regulators. It could be your organization certificates or anything. So this all you can upload in the enterprise vault. We can take care of all different file formats. And once these documents are shared, there's a facility to e-sign them also. So whosoever is the authorized person in the organization and his hierarchy is maintained in the enterprise locker, that he can be the official person who can sign. So he'll have the access to sign the documents, and then he can share and retrieve the documents also. Moving ahead. So if you can just see this, once once you've shared a document, obviously there's an inbox and an outbox section. Inbox is where you have received documents from other entities. Like if you can see, there are multiple entities registered here who have shared documents to this demo account. And outbox would be similarly the documents which you have shared further to entities or regulators for taxation or any other purpose. Similarly, any document, like for example, we had shared the PAN and taxation documents to SEBI. So the inbox and outbox is where you can take care of what all transactions are happening, and the documents are shared from one entity locker to another. So it is a secure form of transferring of documents from entities to regulators or other entities. For sharing, usually, and obviously there is an activity log to see who has registered and who has shared the document. Once you're sharing the document, to find different entities, you can use either the SIN number or PAN number to find out other entity locker accounts and then directly share it to them. And obviously this is just about entity locker. It just gives you some FAQs and terms of service, which are like there is no separate agreement or so. We go for a click wrap terms of service. So if anybody is curious about knowing what entity locker says and what is the different FAQs related to it, or if you want to contact any one of us, so every information is available and they can contact us for any queries they have throughout the process. Coming forward to the profile management, obviously once an entity is registered with the authorized personnel, they would like to have multiple hierarchies of people and they would like to govern access to different hierarchies. So that can all be done in the profile and user management section. First, if you go to the profile, we prompt you to fill in your complete entity details, find out your SIN number, fetch your SIN number, fetch your UDM number, and all of this to complete your profile so that it becomes easier for you to further share it with the regulators. And then once you go to the user management, you can add multiple users. All of them will have to go through the Aadhaar authentication method, and then you can grant and revoke access to different parts of the entity locker. For example, here we've shown you two users. One can be a main creator, and other then there could be sub users to it. So just to sum up, basically there is a 3-step process when to register to entity locker. First, you have to get the representative Aadhaar authenticated. Then we verify the entity's PAN, and then there is an e-sign of the agreement to become an entity locker user. Once these 3 steps are done, your entity locker is created and you can readily use it for your different various use cases. Thank you. I'll just hand over to Prasoon.
Thank you, Karan. So this was about entity locker, and as discussed, Karan said that we have been, it's an initial thing, and already there are somewhere around 40 odd issuing authorities are already there onto this platform. There are somewhere around 70 to 75 document types which are already issued by these 40 issuing authorities for the citizens or for the organizations to fetch. There are somewhere around more than 100 plus organizations are already there onto this platform for various use cases. There are regulators, there are organizations, entities who are already there using this platform. So this is it. And if in case you have, I was just going through the webinar chat that nobody has any questions. So I think the presentation was really good. So nobody has any questions to ask. Yeah,
But
Akshay.
yeah, I have some questions
Yes, please.
on the presentation. So is there any documentation limitation which we can upload on this DigiLocker, or we are free to upload any of our document for safety? Or miss
You are talking about the size of the document, or you're talking about the number of the document?
both.
Okay, so yes, there would be a limited size to it. So this depends upon, kind of the organization which is being there, because what will happen is there are the organizations or the regulating authorities or the entities who are having such kind of documents. So land related document, if in case we give 2 GB of space, definitely the land related documents would not be, suffice. So depending upon the organization type and depending upon the document type, definitely the size of that enterprise vault, what we are talking about, that may be given. And the number of the document, there is no limit to the number of the document. So you can definitely, fetch or upload any number of document. You can, if you can see, if you have seen closely that there are the folders also can be made. So if in case you want some kind of bifurcation to be done and the folders to be made for different use cases or uses, then that also is possible.
And most of the time, I heard from my industry friends that they are saying that the tax department is asking that you are come with the 5-year data in the hard copy form and 10
Yes.
years. So
So,
can it be possible we can upload, means they can upload their balance sheet in that the entity DigiLocker, and if department asks, they can give the ID that you can access there, because they already have, because in
yes, please.
yeah, because in everything is online, GST and income tax, all the things are online. After that, they are asking if these kind of thing that you are come up with the 5-year data and all. So they do by own the scrutiny and all if they want, because they have all the access of the data of the industry.
Right. So there are two answers to this. One is that yes, this is, if you talk technically, this is definitely possible. If in case I am the regulator and suppose a Karan is one of the organizations and they want to share some kind of, give access, me accessing their documents in their, vault, that is possible technically, right? So what will happen is Karan will scan those documents and keep it in the enterprise vault. So this is the digitization process what we are talking about, right? So but we are talking about the digital process, which there is a difference between the digitization and digital process. So what we are talking about is if in case that Karan being an entity can fetch those certificates from the issuing organizations and keep it in the issued section, then me accessing, or if in case I am the regulator and he shares those documents to me, then I have nothing to do with the authenticity of that particular document, because I know that if in case it is coming from the authentic source, then it does need not to be checked. So I would appeal to the organizations that whosoever comes onto this platform, please fetch more and more certificate. What are issuing authorities are available? Please go and fetch these certificates. And if in case you see a use case that these kind of issuing authorities or these kind of issuing organizations should be there on Entity Locker, please write to us so that we can approach those organizations, we can approach those regulatory authorities and make them on board on this particular platform, so that the rest of the entities shall come and fetch those certificates.
Okay. So my next question is, people are a little bit feeling shy to upload their personal detail or document on the DG platform because it's accessed by government.
No, that is a myth, sir. It is no way accessible to anybody. That is why it is named as DigiLocker. So if in case a locker is accessible only to you, nobody in this world can access the locker other than you, right? So that is why, if in case I would take this opportunity to clear the myth also, that DigiLocker is a platform wherein you fetch these certificates. So I'll give an example now. I want to fetch my driving license, right? So what I do is I authenticate myself. I give the Aadhaar OTPs and everything. I go on to the DigiLocker section. Then I find these driving license section. So a Ministry of Road Transport and Highways issues these driving licenses. So I go into the MORTH subsection, wherein I get a user-defined field. That means I need to enter some kind of parameters. In that parameters, already my name, date of birth is already there and in a non-editable format, so that I cannot fetch Karan's DL and Karan cannot fetch mine. Right. So I go there, I give my driving license number and other search parameters, and those whole set of information via an API is a hit on the database or the servers of Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. And the certificate in an encrypted format comes to DigiLocker. It is converted into a PDF and then shown to the user. So nobody can access other than that particular person. Nobody can access that thing. And DigiLocker doesn't store any kind of certificate. It's only a logical link which is saved in the issued section of that particular user.
Okay. So is there any other hidden secret about this locker and all which you would like to share with
I
us?
would like to just add one thing that so obviously as Prasoon rightly mentioned, so documents which are issued, we only show us logical link. The document resides always with the issuer. But that's also truth. We runtime pull the document and share it across. But the documents which are uploaded on the enterprise vault are encrypted. They're encrypted with that person's individual key, which nobody has access to. So you don't need to worry about documents which are uploading from your end also. They're also encrypted, and only the regulators will be able to, on the enterprise entity locker, when they receive the document, when I have shared a document from my vault to another vault, and they've received the document, only those authorized users will be able to access the document.
Okay. So means I am also not able to see any other question in the Q&A box, and I think it's a very informative session for them, because that's why only there is no further query in our
course,
chat box or
there
any.
can be only two things. Either the information was very informative, the presentation was very informative, or me and Karan spoke really well, so that nobody has anything to ask or suggest anything.
No, we are continuing with our positive attitude and approach, that
Absolutely.
we are explaining each thing in a very practical and with the practical example as well, and it's a very useful for them. And we share this video link on our social media handle, and we also received the comment in our chat box that it's completely true, that we are explaining in a very clear manner. And we share this video as much as we can to for the benefit of our industry, because MSMEs and startups are having a lack of sources to understand all these things and access the platforms. So ISFA is always in continuation to spread these type of information, and I am very thankful to the Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology, especially to Mr. Person and Mr. Karan, for giving us the time for share the advantages of entity DigiLocker with our members. Thank you very much, and I guess we are receiving the positive comments, sir, in the chat box. So we are coming up with the next session on our budget discussion, the discussion on the impactful changes in the finance bill, and it's on tomorrow on same time 3 to 4. We have an expert, tax expert with us from SW India, and stay tuned with us and join us tomorrow on same time for the detailed analysis of the budget related to the taxation. Okay. Bye. Good evening, Prasanji and Karanji, and all my audience. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.